Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Living Divinity. I want to thank all of you who have subscribed and those who have just stopped in to view one of the postings. I really appreciate you. You are my purpose, and without you, well, I need you. And hopefully I have some messages for you, and I appreciate you. And this is really turning out to be a wonderful way for me to grow, to learn, and to read for all of you. Okay? So it's a learning process, a growing process for me as well. So thank you. And I always like to thank God. Without Him, when I say Him as a spirit, because that's what most of us believe, right? So believe however you do about that. My version is that He is the most powerful, okay? So moving forward, we're going to start by reading out of the Bible. And then begin the reading, okay? Let's see. Okay. We'll go with Daniel 7. Daniel's dream of 4 beasts. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and visions passed through his mind as he was lying on his bed. He wrote down the substance of his dream. Daniel said, "In my vision at night I looked, and there before me were the 4 winds of heaven, churning up the great sea. 4 great beasts, each different from the other, came up out of the sea. The first was like a lion, and it had wings of an eagle. I watched until its wings were torn off, and it was lifted from the ground so that it stood on 2 feet like a man, and the heart of a man was given to it. And there before me was a second beast, which looked like a bear. It raised up on one of its sides, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth. Between its teeth it was told, 'Get up and eat your fill of flesh.' After that I looked, and there before me was another beast, one that looked like a leopard, and on its back it had 4 wings like those of a bird. This beast had 4 heads and was given authority to rule. After that, in my vision at night I looked, and there before me was a 4th beast, terrifying and frightening and very powerful. It had large iron teeth. It crushed and devoured its victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. It was different from all the former beasts, and it had 10 horns. When I was thinking about the horns, there before me was another horn, a little one, which came up among them, and 3 of the first horns were uprooted before it. This horn had eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth that spoke boastfully. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow, and his hair of his head was like wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. A river of fire was flowing, coming out from before him. Thousands upon thousands attended him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated, and the books were opened. Then I continued to watch because of the boastful words the horn was speaking. I kept looking until the beast was slain, and its body destroyed and thrown into the blazing fire. The other beasts had been stripped of their authority, but were allowed to live for a period of time. In my vision at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All peoples, nations, and men of every language worshipped him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. So that was Daniel 7:1 through Daniel 7:14. And next would be the interpretation of the dream. It's very interesting for me to read out of the Bible. If you've watched any of my other previous videos, my grandmother was, she was a Pentecostal. She was a Catholic turned Pentecostal. And she was a very good Bible reader. And she took a lot of time to teach a lot of people, primarily the other people in her church that she worshipped with, and her children, her grandchildren, so forth. And then she did write letters across the world, actually. So I love my grandma, and I do this also in honor of her. Okay, so I honor God and I honor her. Okay, so miracles now. Okay, I pray before I pay. What does that mean? I got this card earlier. I pray before I pay. Do you pray before, like if you're in church, right? Do you pray before you give your tithing? Or if you've done something bad, do you pray before you get your judgment? You can write it in the comments what you think it means. I sort of think that it means, could be any of those two. What else could it be? I pray before I pay. Maybe you prayed for something that you really didn't want, and then therefore you have to pay a price. I'm really not sure, but write it in the comments if you feel like you have a actual description of what that would mean to you, and maybe other people can get the understanding. Like I said, those are the three things that I thought. It's either you're praying for something that maybe you shouldn't be asking for, and therefore you have to pay the price. Are you praying before, like in church, are you praying and then paying your tithing? Or I don't even remember what the third one was, but it is a beautiful card. It's pretty. I just really don't understand the meaning. So put it in the comments if you have an answer to this, okay? Okay. So next we have your soul purpose, and this is the actor. The stone is peacock copper, and it says, I dramatically shine my brilliance and light. I am authentic and confidently show my true colors to others. My life is dynamic and full of vibrant energy. Okay? So entertainment, the actor. Let's see. Entertainment. Are you sometimes vibrant and dramatic? If so, regardless of your main walk in life, there are times when you call on the energy of the actor within. There are many circumstances in life when we are performing or playing a part. Most people change roles multiple times a day. How many parts in life's movie do you play? When you pull the peacock copper and actor card, let it remind you to use your brilliance of peacock copper to activate your creative energy and willingness to show all the magnificent pigments, tones, and dramatic aspects of who you are. While those in the profession of acting can benefit by using this gem as an ally, you too can connect with peacock copper and this life path for the part you play every day. Gaze at the vibrant colors of the stone to raise your frequency as you tune into your inner muse for a stellar performance. Peacock copper is an ally that assists you in becoming more comfortable with showing your splendor and magnificence to others without intimidating them. Use this colorful gem to align you with your source of self-esteem. This energy helps you be seen in the world, in your family, your community, or on the world stage. When Peacock Copper and the Actor card appears in your life, dare to be majestically dramatic while also being mindful of the manner in which you display your talents and beauty. Avoid showing off, but don't be afraid to use your impressive abilities. Okay, does someone like acting? Well, let me see, for me, well, when I was little, I told some girls that I was Barbara Streisand, and I think I was about 7 or 8, and they turned out to be my oldest brother's, like, schoolmates. And I probably look just like my oldest brother. We're like the twins from, like, he's the beginning and I'm the end, right? Because he's the oldest and I'm the youngest. Acting. I probably tried to play different roles, like if I got pulled over by a police officer. But one time I was like really sick, and I worked at UPS on the night shift. That's processing the packages the drivers bring back. And, you know, they really relied on people showing up. Like, even if you were sick, you know, only so many people played the role of the night shift girls, right? There was like 3 of us, like, during Christmas time, and then I think it was more like 2. So if one was out, it put a lot of load on the one that's by themselves, right? So forced myself to go to work, and I was going down Azalea Garden Road there in Norfolk, Virginia, headed home, and I think I was going like 10 miles over, and a cop pulled me over. But I was just like pretty straightforward. You know, he wanted to see if I was going to slur with my voice, and I just said, look, you know, I work at UPS right down over there. I'm sick as a dog. I got off my shift. I'm just trying to get home. But that wasn't really acting. So, I know there's probably a few times I did. I just can't really place it right at the moment. Okay, messages from the mermaids. Okay, recognition. Is it time that someone gets recognized for doing good work? For being a gentleman or a nice lady? Showing someone some kindness? Doing good work on your job? Let's see, recognition. Prepare to be recognized for something you've done. You've worked super hard, and it's time to reap the rewards of seeds sown. It said everyone has their 5 minutes of fame, but this mermaid is saying it could be for a lot longer than 5 minutes. You've earned this incoming recognition. Try not to let it go to your head or ego. Instead, let it go to your heart with deep gratitude. Appreciate and relish the acknowledgement that's coming your way. You've worked hard. Your hard work is about to pay off, and you can now sit back and relax for a while. There's still more work to be done, but you'll soon see the fruits of your labor in the form of recognition and the benefits it brings. Enjoy the feeling of being appreciated while remaining humble. If your recognition comes with the financial reward, paying off any existing debts, then share your good fortune with those you love and care about, or perhaps donate to a charitable organization. Use your position wisely and try not to let it change who you really are. Perhaps you or someone you know is about to be nominated for or receive an award. Being publicly recognized as a beautiful thing, and being publicly recognized is a beautiful thing, and it's very well deserved. Or maybe you're being asked to put someone's name forward for public recognition. However, this message about being recognized applies to your life. Know that moments like this are happy highlights and will create precious memories for you to treasure. If this card appears alongside the memories card, which we don't have, it's a reinforcement, okay? So who do you want to recognize? Is it self-recognition, or is it people just recognizing you, the different roles you play? Is it possible you could have been acting somewhere, right? And it was a successful play or movie. And always remember that for me, okay, this is for me, anything that's good that comes out of my life, that comes from doing these readings, I give all the glory to God. And I do that very much unselfishly, because God is not a selfish spirit, right? God has brought me to this place where I'm at right at this moment. And he's been forgiving, he's been loving, he's been patient, he's been insightful. Like, you know, when you receive messages, if you've looked at my YouTube, like the community page, I posted a picture of a cloud that was in the form of an angel that dropped out from the sun. Okay, so that was I think the date on there is like August something, 2019. And I was riding around. I was in my truck, and I think I was going to pick up my husband at the time. And I was talking to God, and I was like, "Oh God," I said, "I wonder what my I was in the process of building a online platform, right?" And I was like, "Oh God, I wonder what my page is going to look like." And I made a left-hand turn from Keomoko over on Oahu, right? I was heading towards the south side on Keomoko, and I made a left onto King Street. And I was saying to God, "Oh, I wonder what my site's going to look like." And then I made the left-hand turn, and there was that angel that came down from the sunlight. And if you look at that picture up in the far right-hand corner, there's another cloud that's lighter. And to me, that looks like, it actually looks like the devil's head to me. But so the angel that drops off from the sun is brighter, right? It's got more color to it, and it's coming from the sun, so it's a brighter, like cloud formation, where the other one's a little bit grayer. But that was, to me, a sign that we are in this serious spiritual warfare battle. So it helped me to realize that when I lost my loved ones, you know, when I lost my loved ones in these recent years, which has been about, it was my cousin Joanna, my brother Michael, my brother Randy, my sister Terry, who else? My cousins was my cousin Darla, my cousin RC, my cousin Mike, and my cousin Rita. So in the past 10 years, there's been like 8 losses, right? And I believe that because my grandmother is so close to God from all of her teachings that she's done her whole lifetime while she was here, and all of her prayers, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but I believe everyone that's passed away, they are brought from this world because they were they had to remove their body, right? Because the spirit is strong, right? If you have a strong spirit, your spirit is strong, but your body expires. And if you keep living with a body that's in the process of expiring, it drains your energy force, right? So once your body passes on, once your body expires, then all of your power goes right back into your spirit. And then when you ascend, God puts you wherever he's going to put you in this battle between the spiritual warfare. So, I would never want to say any of those 8 people in the past 10 years died, that they went somewhere else. I don't even believe in even thinking that, but I know that picture that I took when I was talking to God and I said, I wonder what my website's going to look like. I know that was a very good indication of where we are in this world today. So, and I say this in the best way, that, we shouldn't be glad that our loved ones are passed on, but know that they're gone to a better place. Their body is their body, and their spirit is still strong. It still exists after the death, and that's my belief. So anyways, did I read this recognition? Yeah. So does someone need to be recognized? Do you have someone that maybe you've been tied up doing something else and you want to say, hey, I would like to recognize Tom Smith over here. He's a really good guy. He's helped a lot of people. He's you never see him in a bad mood, and if he has like some sort of issue, he kind of tucks it away and doesn't really share it, but he's really a good, wholehearted person. I mean, it could be someone like that. It could be, I want to recognize my mother. She raised 9 kids and she did her best. I want to recognize, my grandmother. I always recognize my grandmother. My grandmother was, she was the most perfect angel here on earth, except for she was crippled. But I mean, like I just always loved everything about her, and I loved her spirit. I loved how I could like look into her eyes and I saw beautiful. All I saw was beautiful light in her eyes. So if you would like to put something in the comments and recognize someone, if you would like for me to say a certain prayer for somebody, whatever, I try to review the comments, and I try to accommodate all of you out there. But I've actually had one request, and that was reading Bible scripture. So it's kind of fun to interact anyways. Moving forward, we have the native spirit, and we have the talking stick. So for years growing up, I was always silenced. I don't know. It's kind of where you fit on the pecking order. And me being the youngest, My brother Randy was really good about spending time with me. And my brother Kenny, he's a year and a couple days older than me. So, we did play some, but he had 2 older brothers that he liked hanging out with too. And then all of my sisters were all older. I have one sister that was 2 years older than me, but she was raised by my grandma. And then as she got older, she became the caretaker of my grandparents. So she really loved. When my mom died, she came and told me, she's like, I feel bad that I'm not crying. I know that, this is my mom. I said, it's okay. I said, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's understandable that you've lived with grandma all your life. So you don't, I don't even think I said all of that. I just said, it's okay. Don't worry. And then, my mom died in 74. My grandma died in 84. So in 84, she was really upset. And she's like, now I know how you guys felt when mom died. I said, I know, dear, I loved my sister. She protected, she did whatever she could to protect my grandparents. There were times when, I offered to help her take care, like, do you want to go out with your husband? And I'll stay and watch Grandma and spend time with Grandma while you're out. Oh, no, no, no. I won't leave Grandma alone with anybody, She's very protective. And my grandmother needed to be protected because, she was like the first real child of God that we had in our family, right? I mean, like, for us, right? Maybe her parents or her grandparents were very God-loving, God-fearing people, but she was the only one I ever knew that was. So she did require this extra layer of protection. Because what if I would have been a bad granddaughter? And maybe I would have like pushed her around when my sister was away, or maybe I could have beat my grandma. She was crippled, I mean, not that I would. I'm just saying my sister was the best protector for my grandparents. So, I was blessed to have a sister that dedicated her life to protect my grandma. So people have different perspectives about that. And it's the talk of other people, right? The talk of other people will lead people to think that, oh, my sister didn't have a life. My sister was miserable. She was forced to do that. She didn't really want to do that. She was forced to do it. And I can tell you, she wasn't forced. She built such a bond with my grandmother that if anything ever happened to my grandma out of my sister's presence, she would blame herself for everything. So there's no way she could ever let that ever happen. So if there's any people in my family who are watching this, I want them to know that my sister did what she wanted to do, and because she loved my grandma so much. So, you just let people do their work. You let them have their peace. You offer help. If they don't want your help, they know that you're there to be a good listening ear, which is always helpful. It's better than nothing, right? It's better than falling down and have people walk right past you and act like, oh, you fell down, huh? Well, just stay down there until you're ready to get up. I'm not putting a hand down to you, Like, who do you think you are? You fell down. Get your own self up. And I say that that's like true for me. I have fallen down before, and I've had people just walk right past me because it's the talk. They didn't really know me. They didn't really, they heard negative things, and they didn't want to be, I don't know how to put it. It's like I shine brighter than them. So, the women, when I shine brighter than the other women, oh my goodness. I mean, other tarot readers can tell you, I'm not the only one. But, you become shunned. You become, like, you don't really want to talk to anybody because they have some sort of ulterior motive. Oh, let me find out about her. Let me see where she comes from and what she does so I can twist it and turn it and add and subtract. And then because you shine so bright, right? People don't want you to be recognized for your bright shine. So I guess that's the way to put it. Anyways, so I believe that if you're here reading this message or listening to this message, I'm sure that you've probably had that in your lifetime, because those who walk with God near them, right? Who have that automatic, that I feel like God always walked with me because of my grandma. My grandmother said so many prayers for all of her grandchildren, all of her children. She spent her whole life praying. So that little piggy bank up in heaven, I'm sure she had it overflowing. And it was for protecting us after she's gone. So let me get reading, okay? Because I'm starting to get emotional. Talking stick. Speak your truth. The soul loves the truth. communicate from your heart and share your reality without hesitation. Be willing to stand before the crowd and share from your center. This isn't the time to be shy and hesitant. It's a time to heal through communication. You have the true gift of a true leader through the way you communicate with others. Your native spirit wants you to know during tribal council meetings, a decorated stick called a talking stick would be passed around. As each council member held the stick, he or she had the opportunity to speak from the heart. Each person in attendance would be asked to weigh carefully the words of each speaker. The talking stick reminded each person to be authentic. Communication restores trust and allows you to clarify your ideas, position, and feelings. It can be healing when you share what has been withheld. Now is the time to take a risk and have the courage to speak with clarity. Be forthright. Share any unspoken darkness that lays heavy in the heart. Is that a confirmation? Okay. There are times to hold back and be discerning, but this isn't one of them. Even if you're afraid, declare your truth for all to hear without fear of being rejected or misunderstood. When you do this, transformation and healing can occur. The journey: decorate a stick or feather to use as your personal talking stick. Whenever you hold it, let it be sacred, a sacred reminder to seek the truth within. Take a minute every day to take stock of where you are and to ask yourself about what is so in your life. Simply taking a moment to discover your inner truth can have a profound healing effect on your life. So we're all on this healing journey. You can't hide your pain. You can, but if you hide your pain, you'll never heal. And you'll never be able to tell your story. And you'll never be able to, if you can't be truthful with yourself, you can't be truthful with anybody else. So it's very important to speak your piece. It's very important to stand your ground. It's very important for you to take some time off, whether it's taking a home vacation, a couple days, and you're off at the beach or up in the mountains, you are exploring a section of the world, right? You're exploring yourself as you are walking down a path, to get to your desired location. Once you get to the top of the mountain and you're looking down all at the, looking down at the Pacific Ocean. If you're in Oahu, I know what that feeling's like. I've walked, I walked this one route, and it's let me see, is it this? It's the southeast side, and there's a lighthouse over there, and there's a lot of people. That's a tourist little location to walk. But once you get to the top, if you're looking over, if you're there at the right time, when I was there, I saw a mom whale and then a little baby whale, and that was way up high. So they only looked like about an inch. That's how high we were. They looked like, the mother one looked like about an inch, and then the baby one looked like half an inch or something. But, you get to see the whole shoreline on that side of the beach, on that side of the island. And, you work to get to there, right? But you have to have the time to have some sort of introspect about how you feel on the inside and how this beautiful view that you see is affecting your heart, how it's healing, the fresh air, the sun, and who's accompanying you, and then of course what you're viewing. How often do people get to see a mom whale and a little baby whale? I mean, that was my first time actually. So we have to kind of put ourselves out there and learn how to speak. Learning how to speak is, I know in high school, I think it was high school or junior high school, we were supposed to read. We were supposed to write something and then read it out in front of the class. And I think I got up there and I don't know, I just got into this giggling thing, and everybody else was laughing with me for the first 10 seconds, but after that, I really couldn't talk. I couldn't gather myself. I was still laughing, and finally the teacher said, just sit down, you know. But sometimes it's like your emotions, right? Your emotions get all caught up, and well, it would be like either crying or I don't know. Everybody has a different emotion when they're doing something for the first time. For me to speak in front of a whole class, I got into this laughing thing where I couldn't stop. So it's important to get to a place where you can actually speak your piece and be heard, because you know, if you, like, say if you come off really whiny, like, you know, people aren't going to listen to you. They're not going to hear what you have to say, right? Because that pitch is enough to drive some people crazy. And I think that's why, like my voice, like I could be really tender, and I could really be, you know, I just don't know if I could be that whiny voice that some people portray, you know. Well, that happened to me and it really wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. I'm a victim of circumstance, and really I didn't have anything to do with it. They were attacking me. You know, I just don't like all that whiny crap, you know. I like it when people just say what they have to say, and I encourage people to really think about what you're saying and how you're saying it, because however it is, it's going to be how you're received. Okay, if you speak in a negative manner or a negative tone, you're going to be received in that, I believe. So, anyways, moving forward, got the divine feather, and here's the feather. It's the feather of the dove, and the dove speaks of peace, right? But yeah, after all these years of my life, I've had a lot of drama. I've had situations where I just like hunkered down and stayed on my own lane, and I've had times where, like I said, it was drama depending upon who I was with and what things transpired, and sometimes I was a big part of it and sometimes I wasn't. So now I choose peace. I choose peace over everything. Okay? So the dove. The dove is a beautiful symbol of peace, motherhood, and the qualities associated with the feminine. Dove has a long association with the goddess and the other traditional mother symbols. In many cultures, a dove appears with an olive branch, bringing a message of peace. Doves are monogamous and are often heard cooing with their partners at dawn and dusk, the times of day often thought of as portals to the spiritual world. The dove's cry is associated with the sound of morning, reminding us to let go of what has passed while we open our hearts to the now. Dove delivers the message of peace, love, and blessings. Now is the perfect time to open up to a deeper sense of tranquility and balance. Have you felt in harmony with the world and with your life? Are you holding on to anything that is keeping you from feeling at peace? Dove floats down to share the message that serenity lies within. Stop and take a breath, connect to the energy, and be open to receive. Once you come back to this place of inner peace, you will feel a greater connection between your inner world and all that surrounds you. This is a blessing indeed. The energies, peace, happiness, serenity, season all year round. Element earth, water, air. The color white, ivory, gray. The affirmation, peace is within and all around me. I accept and share this with others. Okay, next we have animal messages. And we have the hummingbird. The beautiful hummingbird who has the ability to, do they fly backwards? I know I've read this before, but I think they just stand still? I think they have the ability to fly backwards a little bit. So yesterday I was able to do 3 readings, and it does really take a long time to download them. A lot of the readers will download like in the middle of the night, and I guess they could record any time of day and then just download during the nighttime hours. I haven't quite got there, so I'm kind of just doing it as I go. Okay, hummingbird. Turn away from infidelity so that love may blossom. So, someone is involved with some infidelity. Infidelity's an ugly thing. It really tears up a whole relationship. And those who refuse to recognize their wrongdoing in that, that relationship will never come back together, in my opinion. And I've lived through that, and I think if my first husband would have just fessed up and said, yeah, in these first 2 years that we've been married, I have cheated on you with many or 5 or whatever it would be, right? I would rather hear the truth moving forward than having the lies tucked under a rug and move forward with that person, because forever you're going to be wanting to energetically pay him back, one way or the other, especially if you stay in it. The other thing is you're never in a real trusting mode because there's hidden truth, right? And that's how it was for me, my first marriage. And I'm kind of over it and all that. That was from 80 to 2002, Well, 80, I think we got married in 82 to about 2002. Was a few months before the 20-year marker. But I never asked for alimony. I didn't want anything from him. I just wanted my daughter, and he made sure he did everything he could to keep her away. And after all these years of him switching the dates, so when it rotated around for my time to have my birthday with my daughter, or her birthday with me, or Christmas with me, or whatever, every holiday was like jacked up because he'd always change the date like a month before. He'd say, oh no, you're not going to see her this weekend, you see her next weekend, kind of thing. And everything was dirty about the whole situation, and all he ever wanted was for my daughter to hate me and never speak my name in his house. And anytime I ever had her, I said, look, if you need to talk about your dad and it makes you feel better by talking to me about your dad, about something he's done to you, yes, I want to hear from you. But I never want you to believe that it's satisfying to me that your dad, something like bad is happening to him, or I never want you to believe that it makes me happy that you're talking about your dad negatively, right? I try to never include her on any of the divorce proceedings. I try to just let her be a kid. And then he was just the opposite. So, sometimes they say there's women that are the scorned woman. And, he was really like the scorned man. But everything that happened to him, he had it coming. I should have really just probably ended it years before. I just wanted to hear his truth, Even after like 10 years of being married, if he would have said, look, we've been together 10 years, and that first 4 years, that first 7 years, whatever it was, if he would have just been truthful and said, I just want you to know that I'm being honest with you right here, right now, because I want to move forward and with a clean slate. I want to be able to just move forward, and then you know that if anything bad ever happens in the future, that I will continue to tell you the truth. And that's all I ever wanted. But, you know, sometimes you're with someone, you can't always get what you want, right? And my blessing is my daughter. So in that way, it was worth the 13 years when she was born, or 15 years, I think we were married about 15 years when she was born, and she's everything to me. So now the tables have turned, and I still don't encourage her not to talk, not to talk to her dad. I want her to have a relationship with her dad, but she's 28 years old. She can do what she wants. And her father, I don't know, it's like a competition now, She's told him that, oh, I'm talking to mom now. And so he gets off the phone real quick, and then he calls her out of the blue. Now he's calling her out of the blue, when her whole 28 years, he was always bothered by her. Whatever she was going through, it was hardly no help or no help at all. And she was a bother. Now that I'm back in the picture, it's like now he wants to compete. Now he wants to prove his love to her when he had the majority of the time with her. And I don't even know where all this is going. I only know I'm in her life because I'm her mom, and I want to be in her life with no attachments. She can tell me to kick rocks next week. I mean, I never want to say anything to her to make her tell me that, but, right now I'm just appreciating every time that we're able to talk, and everything is, I'm sure I could call her, but I know she has a busy life, and right now we're just scheduled for like once on the weekend, and I'm good with that. And whatever makes her happy, I always told her, sometimes it doesn't matter what mom wants, sometimes it doesn't matter what dad wants, sometimes it matters what you want, So she remembers all these things that I told her. So I'm so blessed that the things that my grandmother told me, or the things that my mom told me, I was able to pass on these little parables. Is that what you call them? These little parables that they can put in the back of their mind, and when they're going through some situation, whether it be with her father or her a significant other, whether she's at work, all these little things that your parents give you or your grandparents give you, you should treasure them, because they're valuable information that can help you through, sometimes the worst times of your life, right? So, okay. So did I read this? Turn away from infidelity so that love may blossom. Delicate beauty of balmy, sun-kissed climes, hummingbird is faithful to the blossoms that nourish her, and knows that there is little more injurious to love than infidelity. If a partner is unfaithful, it is time to soar away and taste the affection of another. If you no longer love exclusively, fly away before you bruise their being and take away something essential from your own soul that will leave you less open to love the next time it is offered. I don't think I ever read that. I don't recall ever reading that, actually. And I know I've read it in the readings, but I'm not seeing anyone, so it's not like it would be resonating or anything, but I just don't really recall reading it. So, okay, so I did my pre-shuffle, and then I'm going to go through, give it a couple more shuffles, and then do my little cuts in there, and then I'll be ready to read. So, anyway, so it'd be interesting to know where my readers, or my listeners, where my watchers are from. I live in Central California. They say that you shouldn't tell people where you live, and I really don't dare too much. I really know that God is with me, and God is always going to protect me, and only certain people are allowed to actually hit my front door. I don't I just have this protection over me. I already know, because I almost got hit twice by cars that could have you know, a car versus a person, right? Walking on the street, they can cause a lot of damage. And I've already had experiences on the island where I said I divorce and decree, and that person went around, wouldn't come into my airspace. He went around to get to where he wanted. He knew where my workstation was, and I never even said those words to him. Energetically, he got the message, right? I said those words after he was already gone, and then he came to try to approach me, and he got like 8 feet away and then turned around and ran the other way. So it's a true story. So I already know that I'm divinely protected, and Guadalupe is one of the, there's so many angels here. There's so many God-fearing, God-loving people in this town. And I mean, I'm sure we have our share of non-believers and stuff, but this town is full of good energy. Sometimes the good energy is afraid to shine out, right? People get kind of old, and then they're like, oh my gosh, if I go out in the street in the middle of the night, someone's going to hurt me, But not in this town. This town is very blessed, and I know that. So I don't have any fear. I can go out at 11 o'clock at night, of course. I don't know how I would feel if I didn't have my dog. But yeah, I just kind of go whenever, wherever. And I've always been that way. Even on the island of Oahu, my sister-in-law at the time was like, oh, don't go, she'd say, don't go at night down there. And I was like, why? Oh, because it's dangerous at night. Me and her brother just looked at each other and started laughing. And then she'd say, "What? Why are you laughing?" And I said, we go to Walmart whenever we want. Sometimes it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay. Oh, rejoice and celebration. We had that at the bottom of the last one. I know that because some of my title was the beginning card to the end card. So let me get a couple more shuffles in there, because in case I use that same way, which I don't think I will, but I just want to put a couple more shuffles in there. Which that is a good card to have, right? But, I want a good, fresh reading that says good things for you guys. Okay. Okay, emotional withdrawal. Are you going through that? You need to go through that? I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just like, okay, so this one is going to be it. Whatever comes up is what comes up. I'm not going to keep shuffling and cutting and stuff. Trying to make the story fit. Okay, so this is it now. Let me do my cuts. Sometimes it's hard to release, like, I want it to work, I want it to work, I want it to work. While the other person's saying, let them work, let them work, let them work. They're more attached to me than I am to them. So if they want it to work, they're going to have to put in the extra work, which would be a true indication that it's not meant to be, right? But sometimes we have to go through that. I went through it for 18 years my first time, and 16 years my second time. I always want it to work. I don't want to be someone who has had failed relationships, but some people are destined to have that and some people aren't. And it's a matter of learning who you are and what you will put up with and what boundaries you'll set at the beginning, and moving forward, how will you keep those boundaries and, still intact. Don't let anybody go over your boundaries and just stay, because then they're going to keep pushing the limit, and they have to know that. I know my value. I've learned a lifetime of learning who I am and where I'm supposed to be and how it's supposed to go, and those are just things that I won't tolerate. Okay. So let's just do one more cut, just the bottom. Truth. Okay, that's good. I mean, we did see motion, right? The motion. Okay. And so I'll just take that off. Okay. The truth. We got that last time. So the first card is wisdom. Wisdom. Well, you've gone through some things. You've learned some lessons. You saw where there was truth, and the truth that you saw, maybe you didn't appreciate it, right? All the cards are indicating that, you know, there's some sort of infidelity going on, right? You saw the truth. You really didn't like it, what happened. You learned from it. You said, I've tried to stick it out with John or Sue. I tried to stick it out with them. I tried to make them see. If this is going to work, we need to do better. We need to treat each other with more respect. And, you know, frankly, if we don't respect ourselves, how can we respect anybody else? If we don't love ourselves, how can we love anybody else? And I think both of them of mine that I said, you know, how can I expect you to love me when you don't even love yourself? You know, or the first one was actually, he loved himself so much, but in a selfish way was like, you know, this is the way it goes and this is the way it is. And if you don't like it, then go in the other room, or, you know, I'm not going to let you out of my life. I'm not going to let you go. So you just deal with, this is how I want it. And, you know, I don't know. I hate to have negative readings. We need peace. Through it all, we need peace. What are we getting? Are we getting someone who's cheating when we choose to be monogamous? Have we discussed it in a positive way and set our boundaries? Have we been heard? You're recognizing that you're a one-man band and you're trying to make it work? I don't know. It's your story. Do you see that someone has just been acting? You know, maybe you're hooked up with someone who has ulterior motives that you're just figuring out. He never did love me. He knew that I had these extra sources of income. He knew that he had my heart and I would give him anything. And now everything's gone. I prayed for this, but I wasn't specific. I prayed to have someone that I could love, but I forgot to pray that they would love me equally. So I'm paying the price. Maybe that's what this card means. So you have wisdom and you have truth. The next, we have balance. So this is really a reading of enlightenment, of getting yourself balanced. This to me seems like doesn't seem like a couple or love reading. It seems to me you're more trying to figure out who you are and where you're going and how you got to this particular place where you're at. Have you pushed someone away, or has someone pushed you away? Have you found out that they have not been good to you, or are you the one that hasn't been good to them? Did you agree on having a monogamous relationship and then you find out she's with Tom, Dick, and Harry? Or is it vice versa, where you as a woman find out he's with Susie, Jane, Linda? Okay, we don't know. It's your story. But you have to find balance. This was the card that was at the bottom. The truth prevails. You've seen a lot of signs. You're seeing that, well, it's like these people over here. Who are those people? Is that really like, could that be like his woman? He finds out his woman is with someone else. And they had a child. And you're left with the dog. Anyway, so there's balance. Balancing out the knowledge that you know about a particular situation. And this could all be regarding yourself. Hey, you know, I give my love too fast. I don't really know the people. They look good on the outside, and they're telling me everything that I want to hear. And without them proving to me who they really are, I just give in. I want to be in this balanced love relationship with this other person. But I'm not setting boundaries. I'm not looking out for myself. And it's not even a selfish way, right? Because if you're looking out for yourself in a selfish way, it'd be, what can I get out of this relationship? You know, I myself, I don't really look at that. Both of mine have been, I don't know. I think Chris had more money, but that's because he had more years. You know, like he was older when me and my first husband got together. We were both really young, but we could build together. But, I mean, even with that, we couldn't build together because as soon as he put the ring on, I was nobody. I was just his wife waiting at home. Okay? So, and how do I play a part in that? I allowed it for a long time. I couldn't reel him in. I couldn't, you know, he was like a firecracker, you know. I don't know how to explain it, but it didn't matter what I said or what I did. He's going to do what he wanted to do. And actually, I blamed that on his father because he did tell me that his dad cheated on his mom. And then I had to blame myself for understanding that that's what his dad told him. And I should have thought that, like, oh, that's his son, so he's going to do the same thing. And I mean, like, even if I recalled back 40 years ago, okay, he could have very well said, I'm not going to do that to you. I don't really remember. It doesn't really matter. I mean, we've been divorced for 20 years or so. Let's see, what year is it? We've been divorced 22 years, so. It doesn't really matter, but all the red flags, right? All the red flags are a learning experience, because if you're not wise enough to figure it out, then you end up paying. Maybe that's what that card means. It must be. Where did that card go? I pray before I pay. I prayed for a husband, but I wasn't specific. Therefore, I had to pay a lot, you know, just in my emotions, because I wasn't praying for everything right. The way to pray is what I've learned, is that you pray to God, bring me the one that's right for me so I don't have to pay. That I don't have to pay in a way that I'm already losing part of who I am, you know, losing myself. Maybe that's what that card means. Okay, so next we have the third eye chakra. So sometimes if this is like a relationship reading, you have that ability to kind of feel the energy, right? To feel the energy saying, I know something's not right with this, but I can't pinpoint it right now. And if I go to her or go to him and talk to them about it, you know, they're just going to get it defensive. And then they're going to say that, well, you must be the one doing it because you're blaming me, which is really a standard thing, okay? The cheater usually is trying to do everything underneath the radar. And when the one that really wants the relationship for the right reasons, if they bring it up to that person, it's automatically projected. Well, I'm not doing it, but you're the one accusing me of, so you must be the one doing it. And it very well can be the other way as well. You could be the one cheating, and then you could be saying, oh, well, if I was out Friday night and I was out for like 4 hours and I was with Susan, and then my actual partner, Betty, was over here, and she doesn't even question me when I get home, and she was gone for 4 hours too. So was she doing the same thing that I was doing? So it could actually be that way too. It could be you're the cheater, and then you're going to talk to your significant other, and you're going to say, oh, well, where were you for those 4 hours? Who were you with? What did you do? And then that person's going to say, well, I went with Bobby Sue to the movies, and then we had a couple drinks at the little club downstairs afterwards. And then that person's going to say, well, why are you getting so defensive? Why are you asking me in that manner? Then it becomes a big circle jerk of who's doing what and why people are asking questions in a certain way, and then it becomes a big argument, and there's no conclusion. But if you're just honest and be upfront, regardless if you lose the relationship, if you did what you did, then you should just fess up and give that person the opportunity to say, hey, I'm not really with all of this cheating, so we should just go separate ways, right? Or that person could say, look, I'm not really into this, but I really care about you and what you did to me. Yes, it hurts. Do I want to risk it again? They might say yes, or they might say no. Everybody's different, but I just feel like the value of telling the truth outweighs so much more than to keep up a farce, right? You're telling a lie, right? I wasn't with Bobby Sue or whatever. I wasn't with that other woman. I only want you. It's far better to just be upfront and say, look, this is the way it was, and this is what happened, and I'm sorry it happened this way. I still want to work things out with you. The only reason why I'm telling you the truth is so that you know that if there happened to be another next time and you asked me, I would always tell you the truth. I don't know. You tell me how it makes you feel. It makes me feel kind of better than having a liar that I'm lying in bed with, But someone's third eye chakra needs to be opened or is opening. They're starting to see the light about a situation. Next, the awareness again. Here we go with the major arcanas. You guys saw me shuffle. I know I did a couple more shuffles there because of the bottom card, but we have now 4 major arcanas plus a chakra, which is a good reading. Awareness. That's like the crown chakra, right? This person is wide awake. This person is using their intuition. This person, they don't even need to really be around you, okay? This person has, they're psychic. They ask the question. They give God the time to communicate with them, the divine connection, and they get the answer. So why even tell any lies? Why even try to fabricate when this person's already in touch with themselves? They're in touch with everything around them. They have divine guidance, Whoever is going against this person or trying to deceive them, all they're doing is putting more knives in their own back. Because they don't want to tell the truth. And to me, telling the truth is everything. The person has the opportunity to say, hey, you cheated on me. I told you that wasn't part of my deal, and now I'm walking. Or the person could say, look, I really love you, and thank you for telling me the truth, but, you have to be upfront with me and tell me this is never going to happen again, or I'm out the door. Now, some people might take that as a oh, you shouldn't do that. Once a cheater, always a cheater. You know, I don't really believe once a cheater is always a cheater. I believe that people experiment and people see how far they can get. And people, if they really love you, they will change for you. But if they don't really love themselves, then how can they love you? So these are all kind of things we have to sort out. We have to sort that out in our own selves before we can start pointing the finger at others, right? We have to make sure where we're supposed to be, and we're working on ourselves. And that's, excuse me, if both parties are doing that, and if they're doing it together, that's even better, because then you could be totally truthful with each other. You know, I mean, I've heard about people asking their man, you know, oh, how many women have you been with? Or the man asking the woman, oh, how many women have you been with? I mean, in these days, I think the numbers are all high. I don't really know, you know. But, you know, back in my day, a lot of women, they were just leaving high school, going and getting married, and then they stayed married for 40 years, you know, 50 years, you know. So they should only have one, right? But not always is that true. Sometimes people stray. Sometimes people want to experience other things, even though they probably shouldn't have got married to get to that point. But we're all here living a life, you know, and none of us are supposed to judge anybody else, because that's God's job. And that's not to say that people cannot go do what they want whenever they want, and it's hurting people. It's just that you have the choice. Are you staying in? Are you going to stay in and work it out? Are you going to get your boundaries set? Are you going to make it work for each other? Or are you going to say, look, we've done this several times. We've gone about this situation several times, and honestly, I'm just done. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. And the other person needs to respect you enough to say, okay, let's do this in a good way that's not any more damage to either of us. You know, but then if someone doesn't respect you enough to confront you before something bad happens, right? I don't know. There's so many different parts to it. So it's your story. I don't know. I'm just telling you how I feel when I read the cards. Next we have transformation, another major arcana. So I feel like God's really here in this reading, because there's so many major arcanas. I think the last one was 8 major arcanas and 4 regular cards. So the transformation. Through all of this, through finding out the truth, to knowing the wisdom that you take from this situation, right? You have to balance yourself so that you don't stay off-kiltered. Nobody feels good when they feel like they're not balanced, when they feel like they're walking on eggshells, when they feel like, what is this life that I'm living? It's not working out anywhere near where I thought we should be right now. My third eye chakra has been opened. That's apparent because it's communicating with my crown chakra, which is a divine path, right? Divine path right to me. I'm transforming to raise above that lower vibe that kept me in this vicious cycle. Yeah, I think about the past. I think about the good things that happened in the past. But where are we today, and what are we doing with it? Is it benefiting us even thinking about the good times of the past? Or is it someone else you're thinking about? I don't know. It's your story. And another major arcana, the authority card, which is the Emperor. You have the authority in your life to run your life that the best for you, so that you can become the best version of you. You've already received the messages, right? You've already received the messages. See how that has a circle? Yeah, you've received the messages. Boss up and do what you need to do for you, man or woman. Put yourself first, love yourself, heal yourself, be truthful to yourself, be good to yourself, so you can give that same energy to someone else who's going to give it back. And you've learned that you've learned to see other people for who they really are. Are they really loving? It doesn't really look like that now. Looks like he caught her, possibly with another child, with someone else. And he's left with the dog, and the dog's faithful, watching him. Conflict and defeat. Is this where you've been? Or is this where you are? Or is this where someone else is? It's your story. Conflict and defeat. The lighting's kind of the same, right? I've been down this road with you how many times? The only way that it's going to be better is if I go somewhere, leave it alone, don't touch it, have some time to contemplate, know that I'm really better than that, and I deserve better than that. Yeah, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but when I come out of that, there's no other reason for me to ever get back into that situation again. So through the pain comes knowledge, comes healing, comes learning, comes wisdom, comes a change. Use your authority. And what happens when you use your authority? That's a 4, and that's a 4. You get your foundation, a solid foundation to look forward to in the future. Maybe it's somebody who you're reminiscing about from the past. Maybe it's someone who you've been watching and they've helped you go through a transformation. Maybe you're balancing yourself and you're saying, that situation from the past that I pushed away really should have been the one I chose. Or see, how else could it go? I saw the truth. I wasn't really sure, but I connected with the divine and they sent me a confirmation, said follow your gut feelings about what you know as the truth. I was able to activate my third eye chakra, which has its benefits, right? I'm tired of feeling this way in this relationship. I constantly feel defeated. Maybe someone's talking down to you, male or female. Maybe someone's beating you up emotionally. I'm tired of this conflict and this feeling of defeat when I know what the truth is and someone keeps lying to me. I think of the old times when I really thought this was a solid relationship. The times that we spent together before we decided to get married or decided to move in together. And there's 4 candles. Maybe this candle is someone else. Maybe all these candles are someone different and you chose that one. The wisdom card showed up early, so you've had the truth. You've been holding on to the truth for some time. The balance. You've been trying to balance the situation out even though you knew it wasn't good for you. Maybe you've been watching tarot readers and you've were able to get your transformation to lift you up out of there. And you've taken the authority into, sometimes people get in relationships and they're like, oh, I'll just give you my paycheck and you just take care of all the bills, okay? And that doesn't work out because you have to know where your money's going and how it's being spent. And if someone's not being right with your money, then, you could be having these credit card debts that aren't even getting paid, and they're taking the money and spending it elsewhere. And then they have some sort of excuse. Well, remember when the car needed new tires or whatever. Anyway, so take authority of your own happenings in your own individual life. And then, you two, if you get back together or if you're still together, whatever your story is, you just balance out everything to where it's shared in a way that's equal for both of you. Because sometimes, the man makes more money than the woman. But as the man, you might want to take care of everything, but then you might want her to pay a little bit towards, right? So it's whatever suits the two of you if you are in this relationship or if it even is in a relationship that far into. So the last card we do have is the foundation and achievement. So even though there's a family on here, it could mean it, it could not mean it, right? It's your story. It's your foundation. Through all of that, you're figuring out, how can I get a solid foundation? I want to use my authority to make my own decisions. I want to be in charge of what happens in my life. That way I can't go blame it on my girlfriend. I can't go blame it on my boyfriend. Oh, I gave them all the money and they did this with it. So work on your personal foundation, and if it happens to have people with you, then make sure that everyone's on the same page in a fair, loving way. Okay, emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal. That's very similar to the other one, the conflict and defeat. So when you emotionally withdraw, that could be someone, I imagine it'd be someone like you have a partner, or it could be that way at work, right? You're trying to talk to someone about how they talk to you at work, how they treated you in front of other people, and how it made you feel. Now, if you're not getting good communication back, you could say, well, obviously I wasted my time trying to talk to you about how I feel, so I'm just going to withdraw. I'll withdraw everything from this friendship, this relationship, this whole situation. Yet on the inside, I'm sure you might be feeling like, I really wanted this to work. I wanted it to work so bad. I wanted us to be this for a long, long time, and all these different obstacles that have happened that, maybe you were innocent to everything. Maybe you were just going with the flow, and then someone was really basically, you know, making you bend over and take it when you didn't even know you're bending over and taking it, okay? And that's just, that's like in the mind, right? But, or maybe you're the one that's doing it. I don't know. So, obviously, if that's the way you're feeling, there's no balance in this relationship. Has it been an ongoing relationship when you've been trying to balance? And every time you turn around, something comes up and you're always there to help, but yet you're always the helper. No one helps you. No one appreciates you. They say a thank you that maybe it doesn't even sound genuine. You know, there's no balance in this situation. It's got to be even give and take. It's got to be appreciate me, I appreciate you. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. If you don't feel like scratching, you know, I understand. Maybe you're going through something, but I still have the same love for you. You still have the same love for me. Okay, so it's your story. I'm not sure how that card fits. I'm just giving you some ideas if it's your story or not. Next, we have, the partnerships and alliance. So we're here. If we're ending it, I still want to pull a couple more cards. So are you guys getting it together? Have you made some agreements that you guys both feel comfortable with? Or are you reaching out to someone else for a new partnership and a new alliance? Again, it's your story. I don't know, you know. So when you decide to come together, again, you both have to agree where you both went wrong. You both have to maintain honesty and integrity in the relationship with a whole lot of love towards each other. If that's not your story and you're separating from this other person, then maybe you have another person that you had in mind that, maybe you realize you chose wrong from before, even though you wanted it to work. It didn't work. There was no balance there. The foundation was weak. If the foundation was there and it was balanced, you would never feel that way. So it's very possible you're moving on to someone else, or you're working on your current relationship, or maybe you don't even have a relationship right now. Maybe a lot of this happened in the past and you're saying, hey, after all of this time of being apart from Susie, I've gone through the pain, I've gone through all the emotions, I know where I went wrong, and I'm ready to reach out to someone new. So either you're working it out with the person you are or recently were currently with, or you are going through the healing process of healing yourself and saying, oh, soon I'll be ready to reach out, either back to that same person or back to another person. Or you've left the situation that left you this way and you bounce back really fast and you already have someone in mind that you want to go to. Okay? So everyone's story is going to be different. So I have to let you know I am not a killer of bugs. I mean, like ants. I don't really like ants, but I don't have any ants here in this apartment. But spiders, I will take them and put them on a napkin and try to put them outside. I don't really want to kill spiders because they do good work. So as I was doing this reading, a little baby spider came from up there, and I just took his little web that he was parachuting down, or whatever, what is that called, when they come out of the helicopter with the string. Anyways, I took him and put him to the side. And when I vacuum and stuff, if they're in the way and I don't know, then I guess they're in the way and I don't know. But if I see them, I don't kill bugs. Even flies, I'll open up a window, let them get caught in the screen, and then I open the screen. Okay, so you're moving forward. You have some choices to make, right? Decisions. Okay? And you can see there's something that looks like clouds. You can see there's something that looks like it's something to grow. This one has 2 rings, and this one has some coins. So, partnerships and alliances. You're choosing. Don't let anybody rush you. Don't let anybody tell you, I need to know right now. If they love and respect you, then, they'll give you time to come back to them with at least a phone call, right? But, on the other hand, if you're there waiting and you don't even get a phone call, maybe you've been sending text messages, maybe you've just been hoping, this is the guy of my dreams. This is the guy that God tells me is for me, Sometimes you just never get an answer, so you could be there waiting forever. So don't be that person either, You got to be, just kind of let it be open to flow, right? Not that you want to just like be with anybody and go with anybody and do anything with anybody. It's just, you don't want to tie your whole life up waiting for that one to come into your life that you really, 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 really believe that he's the one for you, right? But if you're sending him messages and he doesn't respond, could it be he's too busy, he's busy with another relationship, he doesn't know what to say, he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. To me, I'd rather have someone say, hey, you've been reaching out to me for some time, and I'm tied up in a relationship, and I appreciate you reaching out, but you should really just try to move on and try to find your happiness elsewhere, because I'm happy where I'm at, kind of thing. So when you're fixated on one person, then it can be obsessive, so you have to be careful of that. And you don't want your whole world to revolve around one person. You just have to allow yourself to be open for other relationships to come in. Otherwise, you can lose out on opportunities you don't even know that's right in front of you, because you have your mind closed off because you're set on this one person. So God has a way of letting you know that, stop texting, stop calling, stop reaching out. And whatever happens for you, dear, it's going to happen in divine timing. And you will have to use your discernment. You will have to determine, who's bringing me this person. Is this really my God's? Is God really gifted me this person to come into my life? So you have to go through the whole rigmarole of introducing yourself, getting to know them, making sure that you talk about all the what ifs, and don't give yourself away. If he wants to take you out to dinner, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what it is like in these days, okay? But if he wants to take you out to dinner and you can afford to pay your own, I would pay for my own. But if it insulted him that I would want to pay for my own, then I'd let him pay for it. But he would have to know that there's nothing after that, I'm not going to just be with somebody because they bought me a nice steak dinner, at the fanciest steakhouse here on the Pacific coast here, So, again, partnerships and alliances. Maybe you're looking at it like, I just got out of this relationship that caused me this. Although I really want this in my life, I have more healing to do. I have to take more time up for myself. However, I am willing to entertain, maybe this person has 4 to entertain. I personally don't want to be involved with someone who's entertaining 4 different, so to each their own. I want someone who's just going to be for me. And if I wait the rest of my life, then I wait the rest of my life and I continue living my life, doing these readings for all of you, helping to enlighten you, helping you to inspire to find the real you inside, to heal yourself. And, God's going to send into our path who we want and who we desire and who we need. And we just have to focus on ourselves and heal ourselves and pray about it, then let it go. Because if you pray and worry can't go together. You can't have good and bad can't go together. That would be making like a good soup and a bad soup and mixing it together. What are you going to get? A soup that's probably going to be bad if a portion of it was bad, right? Next we have the throat chakra. So someone's learning to speak up. Hey, I've been missing you. I've been meaning to call you. I'm so sorry I left you, unanswered for all this time. Could be that. Could be, hey, last time you really disappointed me. And I didn't appreciate it. You left me in a way that made me feel this way. You left me unbalanced by the way you treated me. What happened to the solid foundation that we talked about? We agreed on this partnership. And now you're looking elsewhere? You took your authority and you used it against us. You said you transformed, but you really didn't. Don't you know that I can look in your eyes and I can see that you're lying to me? You said you didn't have another family. I do have the memories of love with you. And when we got together, what did you do? You left me feeling this way. I really didn't. I don't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate it. Like, how dare you? Right? Didn't we discuss everything? Do we have to go through so many changes so that we can finally vibe where we should be vibing? So not only do I have my third eye chakra open now, my throat chakra, I can speak my truth. I am aware of who you really are to me and how you've treated me. Now that could be a good or bad statement, okay? So it's your story. And I see the truth. Thank you for telling me the truth. Thank you for discerning the situation with me so I have a better understanding. Now I can move forward. And, moving forward might be with you or moving forward might be without you. Again, it's not my story. It's your story. You got to put it in where it fits, if it fits at all. Okay, so let me pull 3 more cards and then we'll call it quits. First card, choose wisely. You have your third eye, you have your throat chakra open. You've had a partnership or an alliance or several of them. You've grown to your authority position. You've transformed. You have some more wisdom. You're looking back at the past. You don't really like the conflict and defeat of a particular relationship. You've used your third eye and your throat chakra to speak your piece and to see. You've been aware and you know what the truth is. You don't like the emotional withdrawal. You like your balance. You want a foundation that is solid, and looks like you have probably more choices to make. Maybe whatever you had obviously didn't hold true. Okay. Patience. Are you in this patient time? Have you, let's see, choose wisely. Choose wisely. You, like I said, you have two choices to make, right? Those are the two most recent cards, I think. Anyway, so you're choosing again. Are you choosing to stay where you're at and deal with that? Are you choosing, okay. Are you choosing to stay where you're at? Or are you choosing this, 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 or this? This, 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 or this? And you're being patient. You're going into meditation. You're having some time to yourself. You're trying to figure things out. What is the right thing for you? And you know, whoever's in your circle, your friends, your family, your significant other, if there is one, you know, everybody has to respect that you are in a meditation time, right? You are in a time of reflection. Where have I been? What have I done? How have I learned from this? Where will I take this? Who will I take with me, if anybody at all? Am I completely healed? There's so much to think about, right? So the thing is if I'm on the other end of that, right, whether I'm a past relationship or just someone who has interest in you, right, as well as I would respect you to have your time to figure out who you are and where you're going and what's happened and how have you learned and what wisdom have you taken and can you build another solid foundation, and the list goes on and on and on, right? I mean, as well as I respect you to have to go through this process for yourself, you also have to respect that my process might be different. My process might be, hey, you know, I really wanted to be with you. I really wanted things to work out. However, you have your own timing and I have my own timing. Are you going to sacrifice too much time and not have me part of your life? Or are you going to understand that the learning, the healing, the process, all of that, if you're with the right person that can help you, then are you willing to take the leap of faith with me, kind of thing, right? Or let's see, how else can that go? You might decide to go back to where you came from, okay? So I don't know why we're always stuck in this third party. I just know for me that really, truly there is someone that I did think about a lot in the past. And, you know, I'm pretty sure God told me he was the one, okay? But at the same time, I can't wait forever. I have to consider my time. I have to consider where I'm going. I have to consider what my life's going to be. Do I want to live without love? I love myself. I have love with my daughter. But I don't expect my daughter to spend every waking minute with me. You know, she has her own life, and I want her to have her own life. I want her to grow and prosper and do wonderful things with her and her partner. You know, I want her to live a good life, and I support anything that she wants to do that's good. I always told her, if you're not hurting anybody else and you're not hurting yourself, then whatever you do is what you do, you know. And, you know, I stand by that, except for, I mean, like, if anything, I would tell her just increase your life fulfillment. In other words, you don't want to just stay stagnant and do the same thing day in and day out. You have to do different things and learn to grow. But honestly, with my daughter, I didn't even have to tell her. She has many talents. So I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud that she's tried a lot of different things. And there probably is a lot more things she still wants to try. But, I mean, she has her whole life ahead of her. So patience. You can have patience with someone, but are they having patience with you? Are they having understanding with you? Is it a one-side thing, like, oh, I'm going to put you on the shelf, hurry up and wait. I already did that for a long time, and frankly, I don't want to do that anymore. So, this whole thing could be time sensitive, right? Yet you don't want to push someone to do something they're not ready to do. At the same time, you don't want to hold up your life. And, then there's the real truth of the whole thing is this person has to heal themselves, like wholly. You can say that you can help heal them, but never can you can assist, but the changes come from within, okay? You can guide them, but if they don't take the guidance and they just go off and go to left field, there's nothing you can do to really save them. They have to save themselves. So, I don't know. And the deepest part of my heart, I say for me, is if this was someone I was waiting on, I don't know how long I would wait, because my time and my life is precious, and I don't want to push them to come to me too quickly. The more they're healed, the better the fresh relationship could start. But then, you don't even know if that's really in that person's mind. You could probably feel it. Probably feel it like in the deepest part of your soul, right? You probably feel like, oh, that John, he's working on himself. He's doing things, he's still playing, but, maybe you just have to love him from a distance and just keep it moving. And the last card is Triumph. So, triumph is a word of, it's getting things that you want, right? You're winning a battle, an emotional battle. It could be a physical battle. It could be, it's just winning. Maybe you applied for a job and you're like, oh, I got the job. Yes. Maybe you're getting ready to have a child. Oh, yeah, we checked and she's having a boy. Yes. The triumph can mean many things. It's a happy period, right? All right, so since I pulled the last 3 cards, just so we can see, we have 2 chakras. Let's see. You have 2 chakras. We have 7 kind of regular cards. And then the major arcanas. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8. All right, let's do the time thing. It's 11:30. Let's do the angel number. Usually the 1 means a lot, and the 0. And we're going to look for Joanne. Joanne, the astrology lady. She's the sacred scribes. Okay, here we go. Okay. Number 1130 is made up of the energies of the number 1 appearing doubled, amplifying its influences, blended with the vibrations and attributes of number 3 and the number 0. Number 1 promotes creation, progress, inspiration and intuition, new beginnings, striving forward, motivation and progress, attainment and fulfillment, uniqueness and individuality. Number 1 encourages us to step out of your comfort zone and remind us that we create our own realities and experiences. Number 1 appearing twice together relates to the master teacher number 11. The karmic number 11 resonates with the principles of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. Illusions, high energy, creativity, sensitivity, and mysticism. Master number 11 tells us that to connect with our higher selves is to know, live, and serve our soul mission and life purpose. Number 3 brings the influence of optimism and enthusiasm, communication, encouragement, assistance, and natural talent and skills. Number 3 also relates to the Ascended Masters that help you to focus on the divine spark within yourself and others and assist with manifesting your desires. They are helping you to find space, clarity, and love within. Number 0 resonates with eternity and infinity, oneness and wholeness, continuing cycles and flow, and the beginning point. Number 0 stands for potential and or choice, and to do with developing one's spiritual aspects. Number 0 is considered to represent the beginning of a spiritual journey and highlights the uncertainties that may entail. It suggests that you listen to your intuition and higher self, as this is where you will find all of your answers. Number 0 magnifies and amplifies the vibration of the numbers it appears with and carries the influence of the God force and universal energies. Angel number 1130 is a message from your angels that some upheavals may take place and or obstacles may be appearing in your life. The overcoming of these perceived obstacles and challenges will break new ground for you and will bring about the new opportunities of growth and expansion for your inner self and personal spirituality. Your angels ask that you adapt to change gracefully. Angel number 1130 can often be seen as a blessing in disguise. Angel number 1130 is a call to attention, and your angels remind you that everything happens for a reason. Listen to the messages of your inner guidance and intuition and look out for signs and or directions from your angels. The promptings of your angels and your inner wisdom will ensure that you take the most appropriate and right action at the right divine time. 1130 is also a reminder that the energies and vibrations you project outwards are reflected back to you. Your angels and your ascended masters encourage you to keep your focus on the heart-centered and upon serving your divine life path and purpose. Maintain a positive attitude in order to manifest your wants and needs, and remain aware that your angels and the ascended masters surround you, encouraging positive energies around you. Angel number 1130 also relates to self-expression and personal freedom. So personal freedom is very important in my life, and I would never want to hold anybody back from that for themselves as well as for myself. So that's the end of the reading, everybody. I hope you found value, and whatever's for you is for you. Whatever isn't, put to the side. Sending you love, light, peace, love, life, peace, happiness, and harmony, along with healing. God bless you all. Go ahead and do that other stuff, that I ask you to. And don't forget to look down in the box below. I'll be putting a prayer down there. And have a great day or a great evening, depending upon when you view this posting. God bless. We'll see you the next time. Aloha.